So today's video is going to talk about train tracks in the southeast part of Huntsville, Alabama. As you may remember, there was a bridge failure in South Huntsville two or three months ago. And today I heard a train coming down from downtown Huntsville to the south part of town. I heard the whistle blowing and I thought, I wonder if they've done some work to the bridge. And what is that train doing? Since the bridge is out, it can't go down south to the chemical plants down by the river. So anyway, I started out here at Green Cove Road, and where the train tracks cross Green Cove Road. And now I'm headed south down the tracks, and you can see all the cars stacked up one behind the other. Other things we're going to see, like on the left, there's that new subdivision. It's been there for a few years now around the lakes. And of course you can see the mountains on the opposite side of the river, down south across the river. A little bit of haze there, probably just stuff coming out of the trees, or maybe a little bit of fog. But anyway, as we go down, we'll see the Greenway, Aldridge Creek Greenway. We're coming up on where the bridge is out, and you can see that right there. I'll come back in a moment and get a better view of it, but you can see the bridge has not been repaired. All the debris has been carried away, and it looks like they're ready to start work, but nothing has happened at this point. The other thing you can see in the distance is Ditto Landing. Over in the very right edge, you can see the boat storage building down there. Straight ahead, you can see the new campground, which doesn't make sense to me. There's no trees or anything. The other campground was a lot prettier. And here's some train cars that were kind of abandoned down below the bridge outage. And by the way, this track goes further down, and they use it to deliver chemicals to a couple chemical plants a little bit further south, down there. St. Gobain's one of them. I did a video on that chemical plant. Now here's the bridge outage a little bit closer. We'll kind of zoom in on it, move around and look at it a little bit. But you can see there's still a lot of debris in the water, like wooden beams and what have you that are sunk there. And just an abrupt end on both sides of the creek. You get a little bit better view of it there. And there's somebody coming down the Greenway. Looks like they're running, and they stopped I'm not sure for what reason. But anyway, so now we're going to come back down the track, get a little bit different view. An interesting thing you're going to see here is you can see South Parkway. You can see the water treatment plant down there. And so again, there's a big long line of rail cars all stacked up, like they're waiting, for the bridge to get repaired to go on down to the chemical plants further south and east. Another view of the subdivision on the right and the small lakes. And what we're getting ready to do now is to follow that other train track that splits off from this one and goes over towards South Parkway. And you can see that kind of in the distance. You can also see a building being constructed in the left top corner. I do not know what that building is. It looks rather interesting. It is not right on the train tracks. They'd have to put a spur in, I think, if they wanted train service there. And there's also, notice there's a walking, running bike track that goes around that subdivision. I've not been on that yet, but I think it just circles that subdivision. And there's a parking area there. It looks like the city has decided to park some equipment there. So anyway, so now we're getting ready to take that spur off to the right, and notice there's two sets of tracks there. There's some cars sitting right there close to the intersection. So I guess if the train comes down south, it can still come down that track on the right and come on down here, but it doesn't help much because all of a sudden you're now into this where all the train cars are stacked up side by side, big long line of them. And what you're seeing ahead of you there on the left, kind of top left, is the Huntsville water treatment plant where they take sewer, waste sewer, and sewage and do whatever they do with it. I'm not sure, and I guess they eventually, once they dry it out, they probably haul it to the waste to energy incinerator and burn it. And here you can see South Parkway, but you can see these train cars are stacked up almost right up to South Parkway. And that track does not go across the road. It did at one time, I think, but not right now. So the train tracks stop at that point at South Parkway. And I'm going to turn around here. You can see some things. I'm not sure what they are. It looks like cars there in that lot. Now you can see South Parkway in the distance. You can see the mountain there that Redstone Village is on and the water tower. And there's the new building I was talking about that I'm not sure what the purpose of it is. Maybe a storage facility, maybe a manufacturing facility. Not real sure. Now we're headed back toward where I took off from, and we're going to go down the train tracks in the opposite direction. There's people out there working on that building, looks like. And there's a building there on the left that just fell in, looks like. Building straight ahead there is American Plastics. They do all kind of plastic manufacturing, molding, and what have you. And then the one directly ahead now is, I think it's Coin Cylinder or something like that. They build tanks for like propane gas, things like that. And again, you can see some more train cars all stacked up, waiting to go somewhere. It's almost like it's a storage area. There's quite a bit of them. There's 3 tracks there, so you'd think the locomotive could get down through there, and probably still can get down maybe to that waste treat or water treatment plant. And there's where the tracks split. Somewhere along here, I'm getting far enough away from the controller that I'm gonna start having trouble with the signal. And a lot of times when that happens, I can go up in altitude a little bit, and that'll fix the problem, which is what's happening right now, going up, staying well below the legal limit. But the track is kind of disappearing in the trees at this point. And I don't know what the name of some of these treats are, but you could probably look it up. There's a train crossing we just went over. And now I think we're looking at the area where Walmart is on South Parkway. Blue top buildings, and just beyond that is where Walmart's located. We've covered quite a distance here from basically almost to the Tennessee River back up to Hobbs Road. This is where it's turning around. In fact, it's doing it on its own. It's doing an automatic return to home at this point. And since I flew along the railroad track, I had a good signal, but you notice there's a mountain in front of me now, the direction I'm going. So the mountain is actually starting to block my signal, my controller signal, but the copter has already decided it's coming home. And so it's gonna go over kind of behind the mountain a little bit, but basically over the edge of the mountain. rather than curving out to the left and following the train tracks back. You can see the water tower there on the top of that where Redstone Village is. There's lots of things you can see that you don't realize is there until you get up in the air and look at them. And a lot of woods there that's not developed. The side of that mountain. Again, you can see all the way back down to the Tennessee River. In fact, you can see the river to the right side about midway up. And the mountains beyond, which is called Husky Mountain. You can see the trailer park, mobile home park, whatever, on the right. We're back to that coin cylinder. And we're almost back to where I'm parked. I'll let this run, be able to see the landing, what the copter goes through to bring it back down. It's still on autopilot. It's flying itself, doing a return to home. That's where we're headed, right there. Red truck. When it does a return to home, it stays at flight altitude until it gets directly over the landing spot. And then the camera will flip down so you can see the landing spot. And on the controller, you actually have a little indication of exactly where it's going to land so you can see it. And of course, you can override the automatic landing. In fact, I did that when I got very close to the top of the truck. It was not lined up exactly where I wanted it, so I moved it around a little bit until I got it where I wanted it, and then I brought it down. Still maneuvering, and here we go. It slows down. Sometimes it kind of fights you a little bit. It doesn't think the landing spot's good. It'll kind of hesitate, and you can go ahead and force it to land, which is what I did here. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Just a kind of an interesting, fun time.